Okay, let's talk about something real. Does it ever feel like your CPA firm is just stuck? You're working harder than ever, but you're not actually growing any smarter. Well, today we're going to dive into a new kind of operating model that's helping firms just like yours finally break through those frustrating growth ceilings. If any of that sounds familiar, then yeah, you're definitely in the right place.
So let me ask you this straight up. Is your firm busy? I mean, really busy, but just not scalable? It's such a common feeling, isn't it? The team is stretched thin, the hours are just brutal, and that next level of growth feels like it's a million miles away. And look, this isn't because you have a bad team, not at all. It's a huge sign that your entire way of operating is just hitting a wall.
And I bet some of these symptoms are going to ring a bell. Deadlines getting tighter and tighter. Growth just kind of stalling out. And high employee turnover. But here's where it really hurts. Your senior staff, the people you pay the most, are stuck doing admin work. That's not just a morale killer, it's a business killer. It means you're literally turning away new clients because you just don't have the bandwidth.
Okay, so this leads us right into what I like to call the in-house trap. This is the real root cause of all those problems we just talked about. It's all about why that old school do everything yourself model is just completely breaking down in today's world. And this is where you can really see the clash, right? On one hand, you have the traditional model that promised us total control if we just kept everything under our own roof. But then you look at today's reality, and it's a perfect storm. Payroll costs are skyrocketing, finding skilled talent is next to impossible, and the operational pressure is just constant. That old foundation, it's not just cracking, my friend, it's crumbling. So what do? The answer isn't to just work harder. No way. It's all about finding a new operating model. This is our chance to completely redefine how your firm gets the essential work done, which is what will finally free you up for some real, meaningful growth. And a huge piece of that new model is what we call CPA firm payroll outsourcing. Let's just be super clear on what that is. It's basically assigning all those payroll responsibilities to an external team that does nothing but this stuff. They are the specialists. They handle all the nitty-gritty mechanics so your team doesn't have to. I absolutely love this way of looking at it. Think of it as an extended virtual department, but without any of the overhead. You're not just giving work away. No, you're gaining an entire department of experts. You get all their skill, all their manpower, but you don't have to deal with the headache and the cost of hiring, training, and managing them yourself. It's a game changer. So what does this virtual department actually handle? Well, all the critical stuff that eats up so much time. We're talking about processing payroll, of course, handling all the compliance headaches, preparing the tax reports, managing employee records, and making sure every single thing is filed on time. All those details that can completely bog down your best people. All right, let's get a bit more specific now because where you outsource makes a huge difference. There's something called the India advantage, and honestly, it's become a total game changer for CPA firms that want to make this model work. First off, the talent pool. It is just massive. We're talking about an incredible number of professionals who are already trained in US GAAP and all the American compliance standards. So this isn't just generic help. It's a deep bench of specialists who know exactly what you need, ready to hit the ground running. Number 2 is cost efficiency. And this is really the kicker. You get access to that same high-quality, specialized talent, but at a cost that's way, way lower than hiring someone locally. It's that powerful 1-2 punch of top-tier quality and incredible value that makes this such a smart, strategic move. And the third piece of the puzzle is process maturity. Look, these aren't just brand new startups trying to figure things out. The established firms in India are well-oiled machines. They have structured workflows, intense quality checks. Everything is dialed in. And what that means for you is that your operations become smoother and, this is the big one, predictable. So, when you put all of that together, what do you get? You get the biggest benefit of all, which is what we call the big productivity shift. This is that magic moment where your team stops just reacting to problems and starts proactively creating real, measurable value. And this really paints the perfect picture of that shift. Before outsourcing, your team is constantly putting out fires, just worrying about the next deadline, getting lost in payroll details. But after, that same team is now laser-focused on the high-value stuff, advisory services, deepening those crucial client relationships, and actually driving tax strategy. It's a total transformation. And the results of this shift? They're not just fuzzy feelings. They're tangible things that hit your bottom line. You're going to see higher billable hours, you're going to see better client satisfaction, and your team's morale, it's going to go through the roof because they're finally doing the interesting strategic work they signed up for. And all of that leads to what we all want: increased revenue per employee. You know, what's really interesting is that once a firm gets this working for payroll, the next question is always, okay, what else can we do? And the natural next step is usually optimizing accounts payable. It's another one of those operational bottlenecks where this exact same model can work wonders. It just goes to show how this one small shift can start a chain reaction that transforms your entire firm. But look, I get it. A big shift like this raises some big questions, right? It's totally natural to have concerns. So let's just tackle the most common ones head on, because you've got to feel confident about this to even consider. So let's start with the big one, the question I always hear first, and for very good reason. Is my firm's data secure? It's an absolute non-negotiable. The whole idea of your sensitive client data being somewhere else, yeah, that can be pretty daunting. But here's the thing we have to understand. Security is a system. It's not a location. We're talking about encrypted systems, secure cloud platforms, really strict role-based access control, confidentiality agreements, the whole nine yards. The honest truth is that the security these professional firms have in place is often light years ahead of what a typical small or medium-sized firm could ever afford to build in-house.
All right, what's the next big fear? It's always about control. People worry, if I hand this stuff over, am I going to lose control over my quality, over my workflow? It's a totally valid concern.
And the answer is a very clear and simple no. You are not losing control. What you're doing is delegating the execution. You still have full 100% control over the workflows, the approvals, and, most importantly, all the communication with your clients. Think of them as your back office team, executing your game plan. This really sums it all up perfectly. Outsourcing doesn't replace your team, it empowers them. And that's the whole philosophy here. This isn't about getting rid of your great people. It's about finally freeing them from the operational junk that's been holding them and your entire firm back from reaching their real potential. So, I'm just going to leave you with one final question to think about. When you really look at your firm's day-to-day operations, ask yourself this: is your firm built to just react to whatever comes next, or is it actually designed to grow? The answer to that question, well, it'll tell you everything you need to know.